Christian Horner here with me. Bob Varsha back in the studio. I cut him off on his grid walk every time, Christian. So it's a tradition that I'm interrupting on the radio. P2.
What grid is he walking?
He's not walking the grid right now. It's just the fact he was making a point. I was trying not to interrupt him.
He wishes it were.
But speaking of the grid, Max P2 on that grid. Yeah. Are you pleased with that outcome, getting ahead of the McLarens today and only George ahead of you?
Yeah, look, I mean, front row here, our 200th front row as a team. So yeah, look, I mean, I think if we thought going to the qualify, if we could be in the top three, still in with a shout tomorrow. So well done to George and Mercedes. It was a good lap at the end there. But no, I thought Max drove very, very well. I think we got the tyre call right as well. So should make an exciting race.
It should indeed, because George has already made the point about Max and his penalty point situation. Max has already said in the print press conference that he's already tired and annoyed of all the questions about it. Do we think we're going to get a feisty one between the two of them? Max said he won't change the way he's going to go racing this weekend.
I don't think he will. And so, there'll always be some mind games, but it goes that's like water off a duck's back with Max. So I look, we've got to get a good start, get your head down, and have a good race.
Does it feel like you've got a car that can win this race? Because you look good on top speed, but is that an aggressive strategy to try and get track position?
I think it's going to be more about that front left tyre and the tyre graining. What we saw yesterday was that the tyres were graining pretty heavily. So not just on our car, but on all the cars. So I think whoever does the best job of tyre management is probably going to come out on top.
I've got two questions about your management of your drivers here. One being Max. Do you talk to him and say anything to him about the way he goes about this? Because surely you don't want to lose him for a race, or are you just confident that you can trust him?
We've obviously discussed it. I think the problem is that you can overthink these things. And, look, 99% of the races he doesn't get a penalty. So just, as he says, stick to normal. Don't get drawn into anything, because I'm sure there'll be potential baiting by others, and just get your head down. The best way to avoid a penalty is to be out the front.
Well, the other car though should have been further up the grid until the grid penalty Yuki got. What did you make of that? 10 places for overtaking a car that was limping back to the pits with a puncture and a damaged suspension.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it felt very harsh. We were unsure, or Yuki was unsure whether Oscar was actually going to be pulling off the road into an escape road. You can see the wheel looked like it was, detached. It was a very peculiar angle. So, and they're down at 80s, somewhere between 65 and 80 kilometers an hour. So, it's very harsh, but it is what it is. We'll have to try and fight back from there, because I thought he'd actually did a pretty reasonable job in quality.
Yeah, you are allowed to appeal those decisions, it says. Any thought of doing that, or do you kind of have to accept that one?
I think we have to take it on the chin and do the best to come back tomorrow.
Been tough for Yuki though recently, hasn't it? You want to see a fighting drive from him?
Yeah, I mean, I think actually, since that big shunt he had in Imola, his confidence took a bit of a knock. I think, we're seeing, him getting back up to speed and to form, and just to miss out on Q3 by the narrowest of margins, and hopefully he can have a good race from there.
Well, we're going to enjoy watching both your drivers, I think, tomorrow. So thanks very much, Christian.
Back to the pit wall.